Hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 135 people in 11 different countries. It is the final group healing that I'm doing in July of 2024. And the final one to complete this theme that we've been working, simple pleasures. Enjoy simple pleasures, including love life and sexuality, but just in general, enjoy things. And I often say, like, don't just go by the theme when you pick, whether or not to do a set, or, if you can afford it and you feel like it, just do all the sets, because it's really hard to predict for the theme what the healing will help with. I mean, yes, today will help you enjoy simple pleasures. However, how we're doing that is super fascinating and not something you probably would have predicted from the title, Enjoy Simple Pleasures. So thank you very much for my confirmation. That's super helpful. Okay. So there are, let's here. Oh, if you could give this a thumbs up if you wish, the live stream, it helps. I'm giving you a thumbs up there with the little thumbs up confetti. All right. Okay. So I'm going to explain today's approach to that, how we're going to help with enjoying simple pleasures. And I did want to say that the first healing in the set actually was very successful. Like, a lot of people had good results from it. We cleared a lot of repressed anger. That seemed to be the main thrust of it. We did clear repressed fear as well, but we kind of went all in on clearing repressed anger. And I did emphasize that clearing repressed anger is a really good idea, even if you think, oh, I definitely don't need that. Because the whole idea with repression is that it's subconscious. You don't know that you have it. And stockpiles of repressed anger can cause you to hold on to repeating negative patterns, can cause you to wind up in unnecessary conflict over and over, can cause you to distract yourself with dramas that don't really nourish the true you. Like, it's just, they're distractions, but they seem like a really important thing at the time. So repressed anger is really great to work. And we worked it then 2 days ago in that healing, and we worked repressed anger with authority, clearing repressed anger with authority, which is really good. You don't needlessly pick fights with organizations and groups and powerful entities when it's not in your best interest, and it's not really, you can actually manifest a conflict that didn't need to be there because you have repressed anger. So really interesting stuff. But and I could have done more on that today because it was effective, and it's definitely worth doing again. However, reviewing the survey replies and reflecting upon it, etc., caused me to choose these 2 focuses for today. One is about getting shut down, and that you can have baggage that causes you subconsciously to freeze when somebody is trying to shut down your energy, subconsciously. And so you just feel the results of it. You just feel tired. like weirdly way too tired. Or um uh your immune system is like way too sensitive. And so you're thinking, well, that's just the way my body is. And it is true that there are some, there's some stuff that's physical that is just physical. It's not the result of a human being subconsciously shutting down your body. However, there is also this situation where you can get shut down on a physical body level by a person on a subconscious level. And then your body really does need the rest because your body really did get very taxed by getting shut down. So you're not imagining that you need rest. You literally need rest. But it's not because of a completely internal physical situation. It's because of an external influence that affected your internal body working and shut you down, and therefore it's just your body gets really taxed, and you need way more rest. So again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm not saying, don't find some medical paradigm that is useful for you, like Western or Eastern or Western plus Eastern, because there are things that are real and are physical and even if they were started by a psychic shutting down thing, sometimes you need support on a physical level because now the issue is physical. So again, I'm not saying, meditation will fix your whole life, and don't ever think of nutrition and wellness and exercise and, all that good stuff, because that stuff can directly get to nourishing and building your body back up. But if the reason your body keeps getting worn down is spiritual intervention by somebody shutting down your body, then obviously it's really a good idea to end that cycle of you getting shut down. And the interesting thing is, subconsciously, or let's say on an astral body level, if a person is shutting you down. And you see it happen. Like, you have vision on an astral body level. You may not have clairvoyance consciously at this time, but you have awareness on a spirit level, most likely, especially if you've gotten any of these healings. So you can see it happen. You can see your mother or your sister or whoever, your ex-husband, placing the energy in your physical bodies, or typically third chakra and third layer would be the physical shutdown kind of territory. You see it happen subconsciously. But then there's this, there are two things, which is why we're going to have a sort of a twin focus today. I'm calling it victim freeze baggage. It's baggage that causes you to freeze up when you see that and not spring to action and unblock and, wash the person out and protect your body from getting shut down and depleted and weakened, right? And burdened. And you just freeze like you have no choice. And there could have been many situations in many lifetimes when it was more real that you had no choice. But then that is kind of a holdover from then, and you still feel you have no choice. And so you kind of tune out on a spirit level. You don't act. You don't unblock your third fast enough. And so then you just feel tired and confused and kind of disappointed that you don't have the energy to do your goal that you care about. So it's that decision time subconsciously. That's what we're going to work today. Clearing baggage to change that decision on a spirit level so that you can make a different decision. And a lot of what that is, the victim freeze baggage, is fear. Fear that you have no choice. Fear of bullies, abusers, yada, yada. Abusive authority figures, yada, yada. So we're going to work that. We did work clearing fear as well as clearing anger 2 days ago, but the focus was a little more on clearing anger, which is great and really helpful for not manifesting lots of conflicts and distracting dramas. But clearing fear, I think, is a little more central to this of undoing that victim freeze response, so that subconsciously when you see, ex-husband, birth mother, older sister, whatever, shutting down your physical body on a spirit level, then you're like, no, that's no good. And because on a spirit level, especially if you've gotten some of these healings, you understand about clearing energy, you understand about, melting cords, you understand about repairing chakras, you understand about unblocking your third layer of your aura. Like, you understand too that you can let your angels help you with it. And so it's just there's stuff in the way of you going into action mode, and you go into like a, deer in the headlights kind, which I'm calling victim freeze. Okay, so that's one aspect of today and the bigger aspect. But another aspect of today is complementary to that. And it's the desire to know versus the desire to repress. So this is more of an inner conflict that we're going to be working. Is the desire to know and have helpful realizations and know, this stuff. Like, I'm calling those people your shutdown people. That's my new term. So I've already coined, backlash people, and backlash people do throw energy and whatever, but shutdown people, it's a little craftier because they're literally starting a physical process that makes your body exhausted and more prone to illness and injury. So it's like way more clever, So yes, someone could be in both groups. They could be a backlash person and a setback person. But the craftier ones are setback people, and they'll like shut you down so you're literally too exhausted to achieve your goal. Why would they do that? It's not that they're the most evil person on the planet, actually. I mean, that's sort of the thing. It's like they're just, imbalanced in a way that they're attached to you being the way you are. So maybe your ex-husband is attached to you being the way you are because in his mind, he doesn't want to feel guilty that he cheated on you, or he doesn't want to feel guilty that, he's not helping out with the kids now, or, he doesn't want to feel conflicted that, maybe he was more immature than you in the relationship. Whatever. He wants to be the one that's, better. And so subconsciously, he's shutting you down because he's validated by your life looking like a disaster. So, but it doesn't mean that he's the most evil person on the planet. Not at all. I mean, that's almost normal. I mean, not normal, not healthy, but normal is generally pretty unhealthy. Or unhealthy is very common. Maybe that's a more precise way of saying it. But anyway, so this desire within you to repress, like a fear of knowledge that maybe, you'll learn too much and maybe you won't be able to function. Maybe, if you know too much, you'll become even weaker and less functional than you are now. you know, so it's that's what motivates people to repress. So one of my clients that I'm healing is she's having a lot of like dreams that are interrupting her sleep lately, and you know, it's different fears and stuff. And the thing is, you know, body dreams, I call them, you know, those kind of irrational Freudian hodgepodge kind of dreams. You don't actually have to be conscious of those. You could sleep through those, you know, but sometimes it's so disturbing to your body that you keep coming back, right? And or it's disturbing to your spirit. So with her, I think her subconscious is trying to clear stuff, but then she's trying to shove it back down. So there's this battle. And so that's why those dreams aren't kind of resolving themselves, you know. In an ideal situation, you have body dreams which clear the fear, clear the deeper fears that you're working on clearing, and then that's it. You know, you kind of ease out of that phase and the fears are cleared. But I think that there's this subconscious, you know, suppressing that she's doing, and so part of her is really trying to unearth some fears and anger and grief and whatever. And then the other part of her is like, no, I need to function. People depend on me. You know, that's not me. I need to be strong, you know, and so technically you're stronger if you don't fight your subconscious and you can get a good night's sleep. You know, but you know, we're often not logical. So anyway, that's the sort of the twin thing that will be working, is helping to heal that part of you that wants to repress at all costs. You know, some repression is healthy. You know, it is true that if you knew every evil, awful thing that you could possibly know consciously, you know, you would not be very stable or functional, and it would not help you at all. It would be like a total setback. But there is a level of, you know, helpful realization and, you know, undoing of repression that can be really strengthening and transformative. So that's what will work, is sort of helping you with that inner conflict, helping to balance that part of you that wants to repress no matter what. So that then you have a more nice, you know, baby step realization, clearing repressed energy type progression, and you can sleep better. So it's those two things. And I did want to mention, I'll put a different title on it. Okay. So this is just a note about positive change that was inspired by several people's surveys. So change, even positive change, can be messy. It can be unpredictable. It can be exciting. It could be triggering. So it could be that, you know, in order to manifest some positive change, that it could help you, you know, learn 5 times as much in this life and, you know, be so glad you did it in the end, you know, that the process of shifting your vibration enough so that you can live on that new level of like manifesting and enjoyment is messy. You know, maybe you moved and everything's upside down now, you know, maybe, you know, maybe you manifested a job loss, you know, because it was the only way that you knew that would work to kind of wake you up, you know. So because I think in probably most cultures, messiness is considered a failure. You know, like, you know, not being normal, you know, not having what you would think of as normal financial situation or normal job or normal levels of income or normal this or that, normal relationships, you know, that's considered success. And spiritually, that may be the furthest thing from success. you know, spiritually, yeah. It's like that whole you gotta break some eggs to make an omelet kind of a thing, It's just there can be a mess along the way. But it can be a spiritually helpful mess, but there's that idea of like, there's that social programming, like, oh my God, I did something wrong because my life is a mess right now. I made the wrong decision. We're not normal. We're not, our life isn't predictable. I messed it all up, And it's just, so I want to point that out. That it could be the furthest thing from the truth, that you really, really, really didn't mess anything up and you are succeeding. But yeah, okay, clearing fear would help along the way, clearing judgment, clearing society's judgment, clearing maybe a judgment of a parent or a friend that's in your space, making your gloriously messy change seem like a failure, And, I don't think we'll work it today probably, but, maybe positive change garden could be a nice one for that, and just clear out anybody who's in there judging your positive change and wagging their finger and saying, this is too messy. You did it wrong. You made the wrong choice. Your life should be stable right now. This is chaos. So anyway, if you're not triggered, I don't know. Are you even alive? I mean, the idea is to just clear your triggers and keep going. It's not like to achieve some level of sameness that nothing ever gets triggered. Like, anyway, so I hope that makes sense. And another note, about money. Okay. So today's gonna be, clear some fear. And so I would like to include in today's work, clearing fear of money issues, of debt, of, scarcity, yada yada. But I just want to remind people that money and abundance is energy, and money can come and it can go, and try not to be dramatic about it. Like, it's important. It's very important to have your basic needs met. But try not to equate it with death. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes people write things like, oh, it destroyed my finances. And it's like, well, okay, you just got some debt. You're not destroyed. Like, you as a soul, you in this lifetime are not destroyed, like, and having debt, I mean, society is so funny about that, because it's like some debt is considered a failure and then some debt is considered a success. Like, if you owe taxes to the government, some people would consider that, some giant, terrifying, death-inducing horror, right? But if you owe money for a house mortgage, that's considered social success. Even though what you owe for the house mortgage is probably like exponentially more than you owe to, the government for back taxes. So just try to, I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, when you're at the end of the lifetime, when you're in heaven getting a life review, there's no demerit because you owed the IRS or whatever your governmental tax collecting institution is. There's no penalty for owing taxes when you die, They're not like, oh, you can't go to heaven because you owe taxes. Because first of all, everybody goes to heaven. Even like Hitler went to heaven. Like, because it's just where your spirit goes after you die. It's not like, a reward for good people. It's like everybody goes there. And there's lots of healing and lots of instruction. And yes, people that were colossally evil do have to take classes about compassion and learning and all that. But generally, when they pay back karma for having been so evil, that's in a lifetime. They'll have to be somebody who experiences severe oppression in order to really drive home those compassion lessons. So everybody gets heaven. So even if you have debt, even if you owe lots and lots of money in taxes and you're totally not normal financially, you're going to get heaven and it's going to be fabulous. And there's no like karmic thing. I mean, sure, if you were like squirreling away a ton of money in some, Cayman Islands account while people starved all around you and you didn't pay taxes, yeah, sure, that's bad karma and you'll have to pay that back later. But if you're doing your best to get by and pay your taxes and participate in society, at least, before the end of your life, then you're good. Good job. So, I just wanted to mention that because I've had many clients over time really have very like I'm gonna die feelings about owing taxes or having debt, to the point where you tend to make it harder than it already would be. Like the IRS for federal US people in the US that owe federal taxes, they're actually like really nice compared to if you owe state taxes. At least I know in Illinois and Washington State, those guys are pretty gangster. Like they do not screw around. They're like, nope, you get a payment plan that's only this long, and like in Washington State, if you owe business taxes, you have to pay them back within a year or they're going to put a lien on your property. Like, it's like, they're so gangster. And they don't care how much back taxes you owe, how much you're going to have to pay a month. They're like, nope, you have 12 months or we're going to put a lien on your property right now. So federal, I think because federal is regulated by Congress. And so there's more oversight to federal taxes and their policies for paying back taxes. I thought initially they were like, really scary and intimidating and heartless and whatever. But then once I started owing state taxes to different states, which I have paid off over time, I realized that the federal people are really very compassionate in comparison. Doesn't mean that an individual tax collector that you get on the phone would be compassionate, although a lot of times they're fine. But sometimes they really will accord you and try to put the fear of God into you. But anyway, so that's just a thing about, money and abundance. And just because you don't have money now doesn't mean you'll never have money. And, especially if you just don't let it define you and you just keep working it and you keep looking at, okay, well, am I getting shut down? Just keep working it from different angles. Don't be so quick to say like, oh, well, it'll never change. I'm a loser and this doesn't work. And and our lives are ruined. And, I'm going to have to keep harassing, blah, 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 my friend who can't pay his taxes right now. It's like, just try to be compassionate to the fact that this stuff, it goes very deep, like someone could have past life trauma about money stuff. And that's partially why they're not doing stuff in this life that you'd think would be really obvious and logical to do. And so as usual, on the astral, it's better to deal with things, like you can have the angels give this person a class on debt management in their sleep, and so then they keep taking debt management classes or clearing fear of debt classes, in the astral in their sleep, versus you bringing it up consciously and just starting fights. So anyway, that's my little 10 cents about money and debt. And first chakra is financial, is abundance. It's also courage and safety. So clearing fear always helps with abundance. You can overtly directly work abundance, like abundance garden, or I have an out of body meditation that works abundance, which is kind of interesting too. But anyway, just try to remind yourself, and try not to lament so much if you have some big debt, like a medical debt or whatever, it can come and it can go, eventually you could pay it off, just try to, resistance and this whole calamity of, wah, the inner scream, that's the actual problem. The actual problem is not that you owe, 15 grand to a hospital, that's a challenge, but but you don't have to let it define you. You don't have to let it, tank your year, get a payment plan, chill out. If it's with your partner and they're frozen on it, just ask the angels to give them astral classes first, so you're not starting fights for no good reason. Well, for no good result. Anyway, okay, enough on money for now, but that'll be part of today's healing, is to clear fear of hunger, starvation, taxes, etc. Fun stuff. So anyway, like, how would you know that this stuff is a part of enjoy simple pleasures, right? But a lot of times we have to work a contrast in order so that you're freed up to have more of that innocence and that, wonder. And but we can also call back innocence and wonder. But if you're so busy being physically shut down psychically and then just sleeping it off or being disappointed that you have no energy for your goals, then your innocence and wonder isn't going to do much, so that's why we need to work some of this stuff. So if that makes sense. I'm going to check some chat comments, and then we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet, and then we'll start the healing. I will try to be quick with the comments, not do them justice. We can see and hear you. Thank you so much. Hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago, 86 and sunny. That sounds too hot to garden, but could be pleasant otherwise. Hi, Janet, can see and hear you in sunny San Francisco, 68 Fahrenheit. Oh, that's interesting. And sunny. I think you're talking about me manifesting an unnecessary conflict with a group of powerful institution people. Yes, due to repressed anger. Yes, I'm talking about you and like a third of the people I'm healing today. At least. Probably like 80% of the people I'm healing today have done this at some within the last 5 years. It's just maybe 40% of the people I'm healing like have done it in the last 3 months. So yeah, it's insanely common. Yes, but I guess it's helpful for knowing repressed anger needed clearing. Yes, that's true. Hi, Janet. Very cool explanation about being shut down and tired. This is exactly how I feel today. Yeah. And it's funny because then your body really is taxed. And so you really do need rest. Like literally, it's not your imagination. It's like an invasive person who's crafty enough can cause a physical situation. And if you don't like nip it in the bud really fast because, you have this victim freeze baggage going on, then like it's a real situation that you can't ignore. Then you really do have to dote on your body extra and sleep extra and all that. So that's what we're aiming to clear the victim freeze baggage so that you more automatically can nip it in the bud. And so that doesn't keep happening, that your body gets overly taxed or rest. So glad it made sense. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. Thanks for the healing. I'm feeling extreme panic and fear." Yes, your first chakra and your second chakra, physical, are shattered. Back halves of them look nice, but the front half is like, it's like if it was crystal and someone took a hammer and just went bam, and it went in pieces. So just, yeah, chakra repair, first and second chakra. Yeah. I totally resonate with the victim freeze idea. Excited to work this. Yes, me too. Hey, Janet. 82 degrees again in Michigan. Well, thanks for the weather report. Wow, victim freeze. Thanks. Thank you. Oh, wow, I lost it. Thank you for addressing this. Very much looking forward to healing this. Yes, me too. Someone says money and debt are my husband's biggest triggers. Yeah, really excited to work this too. Yeah, it's funny. It can be very debilitating, but it's just a different chakra. You know, it's like if you have debilitating self-esteem issues, that could be seventh chakra and seventh layer, and fourth chakra and fourth layer. And, you know, if you have debilitating money issues, it's usually first chakra and first layer right up against your body. So it's just a different chakra, you know, like if you have communication baggage, a lot of times it's fifth layer and fifth chakra and fifth layer. So, but money stuff, usually people get so much more intimidated by, but they don't realize it's, you know, it's like, well, you handled your communications issues. You're so much better at that. This is just a different chakra. And so, of course, you need to get more present usually to make more progress on it than you would, like, say, a communications issue. But it's doable. It's workable. Hello from Las Vegas with 106 degrees Fahrenheit temperature. Wow. I bet people I'm healing in Qatar maybe have that kind of heat right now too. And United Arab Emirates. Be nice to get some weather reports from the other countries too. Anyway, 106 Fahrenheit. Wow, that's hot. Looking forward to this healing, especially with victim freeze. Thank you. Yes. Someone says hello from Muckamore, Ireland. Hello to you. I do like that name, Muckamore. What's not to love about that? Okay. Yeah, so now we will do the 3 minutes of quiet as I finish my prep. Wait, I don't want to write it until I'm quiet, so towards the end of the 3 minutes of quiet, I'll go like this. That's how you know I started the healing. I'll heal for about a minute without talking, just so I can not distract myself with talking, and then I'll be so in the zone that talking won't distract me too much. And then the rest is a walkthrough. I'll say out loud what I'm doing as I do it. So if you want, you could heal yourself based on what I'm saying. Yeah, that's enough. During the silence, I'll be finishing my prep and saying hello to the 135 people that I'm healing. Oh, and do a sales note. So on my website, what is it? September. I don't want to know that September is in 2 months. But it'll be a great time to get healings, and the healing theme is good. So yeah, September sets are for sale on my website, healing sets, group healing sets. And anyone can buy one. Even if I've never worked with you before, you're totally welcome to get one. Just also email me and introduce yourself if you don't mind. And what else? Oh, subscriptions are for sale on my website too. So you can go ahead and buy one of those if you want to get all the healings. There's 2 levels of subscriptions. There's get all the healings. Same person gets all the healings. That's a full subscription. There's also a full shared where, like, say you and your daughter share it, but the same way each month. So say your daughter gets the triplets, you get the twin sets the same way every month. That would be a full shared So you just buy a shared and put in the note field that it's that way. But then the other flavor of subscription is a twin set only subscription. So you get like this set of 2 healings every month. Just the same person every month. And that's a twin set only subscription. And that's for sale on my website as well. If you have questions about that, you can just ask me. Email me, janet@jwhealing.com. And I have a contact page on my website too that you could use if you prefer. Also, oh yeah, I posted the themes through February of next year on my website, which is new. I mean, last year I posted the whole year at once, but I haven't done that this year until now. So I did now through February of 2025 themes are all up on my website. And there's a specific page that says themes and dates or something like that. And that's where it is. Okay, cool. Hey, thank you for waiting. So you can recreate both your groundings, your physical body grounding and your astral body grounding. Make them nice and wide as all your auras. And wide all the way down to the core of the earth. So have them, go behind you, in front of you. You can make a copy out in front of you of both your groundings. Make them both the same colors. So red or orange or yellow. You can test, how well is your releasing with red groundings, how well is your releasing with orange groundings, and how well is your releasing with yellow groundings. And you could unblock both those, all three of those colors. Let's do that. Yeah. So if you have a red grounding, what are the blocks that are prominent? And let's clear those. And in the bottom of your aura layers, what are the blocks that are prominent? If you have a red grounding, clear those. And then if you have an orange grounding, what are the blocks that are prominently in the way? Clear those. And the blocks in the bottom of your auras. And you have an orange grounding. And when you have a yellow groundings, what blocks are most in the way? Go ahead and clear those. And what blocks in the bottom of your auras are most prominent when you have a yellow grounding? Then you have more options, which is nice because people are trying to control you. It's nice if you can shift and change your vibration and be flexible. All right. Indie grounding. Check the indie for independent. So you melt away any attachments to other people so that your grounding just goes straight down to the core of the earth without any detours or people linking up to it. And, I do want to have a note about okay, so a lot of times in surveys, people mention their friends, lack thereof, or the friends that they have, wanting to have different friends, wanting to have a different relationship with their friends, also including partners in that, because hopefully your partner is also a friend. So do you call your friends when you feel bad or anxious? Or do you call your friends when you just feel like you're in a good mood and you just want to say hi? Do you call from a place of, happiness and joy? Or do you call from a place of anger or fear or resentment or being upset? Because if you always reach out to people from that place of being upset or fearful, A, you may be kind of a drag as a friend. But B, you may be masking from yourself an inability to self-comfort and self-regulate. And if you call your friend when you're anxious, you may just basically exhaust your friend. And then you think that you're now okay again, but sure enough, you're not. Like the fear is still there. So whereas if you can force yourself to resolve your issue on your own and then just communicate with them when you have something positive to say, when you want to communicate about a positive goal or something positive that you're working on. You may actually be ending a cycle, a negative pattern of yours, that you're not clearing your fears. You're just using friendships as a crutch. So that your issues aren't as annoying to you. But it's you're kind of robbing yourself of the opportunity to interact with people in a more positive way, which could really help you. You know, if you talk about things that were funny, things that were amusing, things that were, you know, things that are inspiring to you, things that, you know. So, what does that have to do with grounding? Good point. There is a connection, I swear. Oh, because of indie grounding. We were working indie grounding, and I was looking at, yeah, that if you know, indie grounding is, you know, you're washing other people out of your grounding, right? But if you always call your friends when you're anxious or upset, then probably you're not so good at indie grounding. Because when you have that pattern of calling other people when you're upset, generally you're either pain dumping into their space or you're linking up to them. Like, it's not a clean phone call. Not that it's impossible to do, but if that's something you typically are in the habit of doing, it's probably a very unclean phone call. And you may be on the receiving end of those kind of phone calls with a relative or a friend, you know, like, oh my God, this friend, she only calls me when, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, I know this woman, it's so offensive. She only calls me when a relative of hers is literally at death's door. Well, and then she doesn't even call, she texts. Like I'm her death reader. Like, literally. But in her mind, I think she thinks that we're somewhat friends. Like, but literally, there's no like, oh, hey, how have you been? You know, hey, you want to go for a walk? Hey, you want to go for lunch? Hey, I care about you as a human being. No, it's, you know, my aunt has like 2 days to live. You know, is there some way that I can make her more comfortable on a spirit level? It's like, oh, yeah, thanks. Good to hear from you, too. So obviously, that's probably a little more extreme than example, but a funny one nonetheless. But anyway, so it's that idea of what are you using your relationships with others for? Are you using them as a crutch because your grounding blocks up and then you just pick somebody else's grounding instead? So let's say that was explaining. Yeah, so we'll say that's explaining unhealthy friendship baggage. That you could have baggage that either allows you to be on the receiving end of that stuff over and over, or you're the one calling people when you're upset. You're the one calling people when you're angry or scared or freaked out. Which, you know, if that's occasional and there's a lot of positive stuff too, then maybe that wouldn't be an unhealthy friendship, except maybe those calls are still unclean. And so they're holding back your actual progress. But anyway, so now let's say that was explaining. So now we will do clear unhealthy friendship baggage. Okay, awesome. I'm excited. Oh, wait. I do it differently. There we go. Doing clear unhealthy friendship baggage. So we already explained it. So now let's do. We'll just do blanket exercise because that's easy. All right. So make a big gold blanket out in front of you and heap onto it and you can do like 2 piles, you know, there's baggage that makes you the dumper and you the person that, you know, looks to others to comfort you, to sort of be your crutch, right? Rather than you actually clearing your fears, you know, you call somebody or email somebody, right? So if you're the one sort of being unclean and using the friendship for negative purposes predominantly, and then baggage that causes you to put up with that as a friend and just be like, sure, I'll take on all your fear. Thank you for your call. So any baggage that, you know, unhealthy friendship baggage, right? And including in a relationship, you know, or a past relationship, like a love relationship, because still related. Okay. So then you can say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? Is this healthy and gentle? So that way they'll take out stuff that's too much to clear at the moment. Okay, good. So then now bring up red earth energy from the core of the earth. Soak your piles in red earth energy. That can help you pull your energy out, pull other people's energy out. Melt cords going into it from other people, from yourself. And just go ahead and melt this baggage. You know, when was the last time that you have discussed gratitude with, you know, somebody in your life? What are you grateful for? When was the last time you've discussed something that you're proud of with somebody that you know? You know, when have you discussed something beautiful that you saw? Okay, cool. So again, let's do another round of that. Well, we could do also flower healing, so that you have more nourishment and you're more able to have healthy friendships and relationships with people. So make a bunch of energy healing flowers for yourself out of universal healing energy, gold and or rainbow colors. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Someone says, what about the other pattern of not reaching out to friends when you're upset and not asking for help? Is that grounding this as well? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that unhealthy friendship baggage, you know, you could include that in it. But I think too, that's more of like an isolating issue where you're isolating yourself. So it's slightly, so I think a more targeted way to work that would be to clear self-isolation baggage or clear baggage around receiving. That I think would hit it right on the nail, you know, bam, right there. So clear baggage about receiving, self-esteem baggage, and isolating baggage that causes you to isolate yourself from others. Yeah. Okay. So, but if you want to lump that in and do it at the same time as this, that's fine. Wouldn't hurt anything. All right. So big old blanket, pile onto it any baggage that causes you to be in unhealthy relationship patterns, unhealthy friendship patterns. And including, if you want, you know, any baggage that causes you to self-isolate more than is healthy, and baggage that makes you unwilling to receive in a positive way from others. Okay, and then just bring up red earth energy, soak it all, gold light, melt cords. And you can say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? So they'll take out stuff that's too much. And then go ahead, you could blow it all up or melt it all with gold light. And if there's any left over, you can wrap it up in the gold blanket, give it to your angels, say, angels, can you help me with this? All right, good job. Woo, woo, woo. Let's do a double confetti for that one. Yay! Good job, good job, good job. Because, you know, you could enjoy simple pleasures with friends or with people you know. You don't have to, but, you know, if you're locked into these unhealthy patterns with other people, then it could distract you from enjoying your simple pleasures. And, you know, we don't want that. Okay, so now we'll blow through the other 5 essentials, and because they're important, and if we skip them and you need them, then that's counterproductive. So let's do it. The aura repair of all your 17 auras. So astral body, physical body, plus 17. Astral body aura, physical body aura, and then 17 auras called Wei Chi auras. 15 Wei Chi auras. Plus astral. Plus the 2 others, which is astral and physical body auras. Okay. So they're all around you. They go beneath you, above you, behind you, in front of you, yada, yada. So you can make a copy out in front of you of all of them. Your physical body and your astral body are inside there. And make sure that your physical body and your astral body aura have nice groundings all the way to the core of the earth. And comb through your auras, check for damage. Somebody said earlier in a survey that they felt pressure on the top of their head. They healed their 7th chakra, which is great. But they also did have 2 of their Wei Chi auras had big holes all the way through. So that was part of why there was so much affecting the top of their head. But it was also affecting the top of their GV meridian and also the GV20 chakra as well. But anyway, so aura damage. So let's repair them all at once. Just make a composite copy. Have an image of a rip. Make an image of a rip and have it represent all the rips in all your auras that you need to repair right now. And you clean it out and repair it. So cleaning it out, use sticky gold wax from your hands that sticks to everything that's not you. And lift out all the junk all at once. Angels, here you go. So junk, including hard objects that got thrown in there, including invasive beings. So just sticky gold wax the whole thing again. Lift out all the junk. There you go. Sticky gold wax. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. And then use gold light. Now that's nice and clean, the gold light should permeate properly. Sometimes you do have a couple clever invasive beings, though, that are kind of plugging up some of the rips. So you could just freeze them like ice cubes and lift them out. Come to your angels. Angels, here you go. Freeze those clever little invasive beings. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. And use cold light and repair the rips. If you have any leftover rips, just make one more copy of any leftover rips. Freeze the beings, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Get rid of the hard objects. Angels, here you go. Gold light, repair up leftover rips. Really quickly, gold mesh spheres, repair your gold mesh spheres. Those are in your Wei Chi auras. There are 3 of them in each Wei Chi aura. They wrap all around you. They look like gold mesh if they're all repaired and cleaned off. Inner one and middle one and the outer one wraps all around you, creates gold light. Gold mesh spheres of your Wei Chi auras. So just repair them. Look at them, imagine them in your copy out in front of you and just repair them all with cold light from your hands. Oh, the gold light from your hands thing, I didn't say. It's you have a hand chakra and fingertip chakras, and you set those chakras to be a metallic gold color, so that when they naturally spin and generate energy, it's that metallic gold color. And that's a good color for repairing and unblocking and letting go. And you can focus on different little problem areas and make sure the gold mesh spheres are repaired in those areas. Like in front of your tummy, above your head. Behind your shoulders and your neck. All right, and you can redo your gold buffer zones. You have an 18-minute video that talks about those and teaches about them. Gold buffer zones. Okay. Creative ring repair. Creative rings are up here. 1, 2, 3. They are a part of your astral body energy system. You as a spirit. So they come and go with you as you like go to sleep. On when your body is sleeping, you're on the astral. Your creative rings are with you. Anyway, you can imagine a copy of your 3 gold creative rings out in front of you. Melt cords going into them. Repair any cracks or broken parts. You could have invasive beings corded into these creative rings. So you can imagine them out in front of you, just lined up, little suspect list of the invasive beings that just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? You might have people corded to your creative rings. That's a very invasive thing to do. There's no positive context for that. So just imagine your creative rings. Imagine anybody that's corded to your creative rings and just melt the cords. Don't do anything to the people. Just melt the cords with gold light. And comb through the top of your aura above your head. Your creative rings are right about here, but you can comb upward through them, around them, unblock that whole area. And melt cords. And your creative rings have flaps, so you just melt cords enough so that those flaps can relax and fall shut. This is an image of top-down view of one of your creative rings when the flaps are irritated and open. But that's due to cords going in from other people or invasive beings. So you want to melt enough cords and unblock enough so that these flaps fall shut. So it's a nice smooth surface there. That way it's feels a lot less overwhelming, and it's harder for people to cord you in the first place. All right, good job. Okay, so chakra repair and unblocking. And melting cords, yada yada, the whole thing. So this is the basic chakra shape, an open cylinder. And we're going to repair and unblock all major and minor chakras of your body and your spirit. So that would include the 7 major physical body chakras, the 7 major astral body chakras. They're both along your spine, but also any other chakra, any other energy center. So you have energy centers in your joints. Every acupuncture point is an energy center. I call those minor chakras because they're not the 7 famous ones. All right, so you make a copy out in front of you of all your chakras, famous and non-famous. Yeah, just repair and unblock using gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, do a red earth energy soak for all your chakras. Gold light here, and uncord, melt away the cords. The round openings do have flaps. So the more cords you melt, the more you unblock it, the more those flaps can relax and fall shut so that your energy can come in and out, but harder for people to cord then that way. Lift out any energy that's not you that you're ready to get rid of from your chakras. Angels, here you go. And your intention, of course, is healthy and gentle. You want to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. Lift out any energy that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, here you go. Lift out energy that's not yours. Angels, here you go. Unblock, melt energy blocks around the round openings, wrapped around the chakra, stuffed inside the chakra, you name it. Relax the flaps, melt the cords. You can have devices that are kind of jammed into the chakra, so it makes it hard to repair it because there's hard objects in the way. So you can just imagine, like stick your hand, your energy hand through the chakra, and ease out the device that's stuck there and give it to your angels. Ease out the devices. Angels, here you go. Ease devices. Angels, here you go. And then go ahead and repair. We can unblock for the theme as well, and all the little sub aspects of the theme. So enjoy simple pleasures. If there's anything in your chakras that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now that would help you enjoy simple pleasures more, lift all that out. And you can blow it up. You can give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of in your chakras. It's in the way of you enjoying simple pleasures. Angels, here you go. We'll work it more soon, but this victim freeze baggage that I talked about in the intro, you can lift out victim freeze baggage that's in your chakras that you're ready to get rid of, healthy and gentle. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out your victim freeze baggage that is healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. Angels, here you go. Lift out your victim freeze baggage. Angels, here you go. The other sort of sub aspect of the theme that I said we're doing today is if you have sort of an imbalanced desire to repress, a fear of knowledge, a fear of helpful realizations, repressing at all costs. So if you have any baggage in your chakras that causes you to have an to really want and recreate an unhealthy level of repression, just lift out that repression baggage. Angels, here you go. Any baggage that causes you to fear awareness and growth and change, lift that out. Angels, here. All right, good enough. Good job. So we did for the theme as well. All right. So this is the fifth essential that I talk about. So good karma windows, they're all back here. Well, good karma windows are back here. They're in your astral body aura, which has layers all around you, 7 layers. And so there's these little windows, good karma windows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're triple frame windows. They look like this, but not as big. And they look, each one is the color of your energy in that aura layer. So if you do the rainbow system, red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple, then that's the colors that they are: red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. So you don't really have to worry about all that. Just comb through them and repair them and unblock them with gold light. And you can pull out foreign energy, invasive people or invasive being that are kind of working their way through into the back of your head or your upper chakras through your karma windows. So just lift out all that junk that's not you. Angels, here you go. Out. Angels, here you go. Out. Angels, here you go. And you can, intuitively ask yourself, okay, is invasive stuff getting through this window? Is invasive stuff getting through this window? And just, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just repair the ones that invasive stuff is getting through. So you can repair and unblock all of them, but then just double check with your intuition on each one if you want. And then again, just anything that kind of gets through and roots into your head and your chakras, just lift all that out. Angels, here you go. Lift it out. Angels, here you go. Out. Angels, here you go. If there are any invasive beings that have kind of realized what's going on, that you're working this area and have moved away temporarily, just imagine those beings, invasive beings that have moved away temporarily, and just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? Okay, then flow zone is that area, but also in your neck and around your neck. And there are no layers. Well, there are layers. It's in your physical body aura. So there are layers, but there's no windows or anything. You just want it to be flowy and unblocked. But it's a common place for pressure to build up and blocks to kind of get big. Unblock it. Around your neck. You can have hard objects stuck here in your flow zone. If you do, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Then any invasive beings in your flow zone, just freeze them like ice cubes, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And implicit in that handing them off to your angels is, okay, if these beings should be recycled, please do that. Freeze them, hand them to the angels. Angels, here you go. Because you want to be able to be in your flow zone. You know, in your neck, around your neck, behind the base of your skull. I'm seeing a lot of people with, you know, a big chunk block in their flow zone right behind their head, like in the first and second layers of the aura. You can melt it in place, or you can just lift it out and give it to the angels. Angels, here. Oh, and then you can do a red grounding just for the base of your skull and base of skull acupuncture points. So those acupuncture points, base of skull points, would be shown in that diagram at the height of the top of the ear and the bottom of the ear. There, it's like a line, two rows of acupuncture points there, and those are Chinese medicine meridians. So those, each dot is an acupuncture point, which is also a minor chakra. So it's got this shape inside the meridian. It's fit inside the meridian. It helps the energy flow in the meridian. So just like the big chakras, you just want to repair them and unblock them so that you have free flow in the direction they're supposed to go in your meridian. And if you have any you can have big plates of blocked energy right behind your base of skull point, so you can lift those plates out. Angels, here you go. Lift those blocks out. Angels, here you go. You can melt them in place too. That grounding, that special grounding that we made, red grounding for your base of skull points, connecting them all the way down to the core of the earth. You can comb through that and just encourage the release of any built up energy there, all the way down to the core of the earth. Remind yourself it's okay to let go. And I mentioned a few times in the last healing, it can be that you are controlling others subconsciously, maybe by accident or subconsciously on purpose due to some of your fears. So just let go. Like, walk yourself through letting go of controlling other people. Let go. Even if you have kids, they're just the first chakra chord, if they're young enough, would be appropriate. But there's ways in which you can be invasive with your kid that's going to rob them of the chance to mature more easily and make decisions more easily and sleep better and, stuff that, in a way you don't really, maybe you're not thinking about, So just let go, but you might have to. See. So that's the 5 essentials. And I started talking about this already, but we'll just go right into doing. So show the waterfall for this one. So it could be repressed anger, it could be repressed fear. There are different reasons why somebody might be invasive with somebody else, why you might be controlling of somebody else. Doesn't mean you're a bad person, but it means that, you know, it could help you, it could help the other people if you can snap out of it. You can lessen that behavior of yours. So obviously this is most likely subconscious that you're doing this, but it's totally worth working. It can help speed your growth and can help other people feel more comfortable around you, can help them grow faster, can help reduce conflict, all sorts of good things. So, one on a spirit level, if you're controlling somebody, it's kind of like you're treating them like a puppet, right? So you're you know, using some chords and you want them to do something or not do something or say something or stop saying something, right? And so it's like there's these puppet strings, you know, and you're trying to make them into a puppet on a subconscious level, right? So you could imagine baggage that makes you puppet people. You know, I mean, you could just make piles of baggage, but you can imagine like the puppeting kind of idea. And then what baggage is causing you to subconsciously, you know, puppet people, turn people into puppets, right? So, and it could be because you have fear and whatever, and you're not a bad person. We know, blah, blah, blah. No blame here, but let's just clear it. So, you can make a big gold blanket out in front of you and just imagine the puppeting baggage that makes you puppet people, you know, for one reason or another. And say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? Is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? So that way your angels will go through it and make sure. So everything that's left is really good to clear right now. And you can blow it all up or melt it with gold light. You know, it could be that part of why you're puppeting somebody is because you feel like what they're doing is wrong. What they're doing is not ethical. You know, what they're doing is, you know, whatever. You know, it could be that you have some, I don't know, ethical judgments. And that's why you're trying to control somebody versus just realizing they have free will and it's their choice and it's not your choice how they act. So again, gold blanket out in front of you, put onto it any baggage that causes you to try to control people, try to make people more ethical in your mind or make people, you know, quieter or more peaceful or more, you know, whatever, more financially sensible or whatever, however you're trying to control people, because it doesn't make them learn and, you know, it's going to backfire. So don't bother. Right. So, all the baggage that causes you to judge people's actions and judge people's viewpoints and make you want to puppet them, turn them into puppets. And just say, angels, can you check all this baggage and can you make sure it's healthy and gentle to clear right now? And then whatever's left is healthy and gentle to clear. So go ahead and use lots of gold light and melt it all away, or you could blow it up. one example is we had this neighbor back when we were living in Chicago, and she used to we didn't get along with her and she didn't get along with us. But and she was very invasive, but I was invasive back. I now realize. But she used to put like all sorts of weird stuff into the recycling bin, like old shoes and broken hangers and dirty pizza boxes with pizza crust still in it, and all sorts of stuff. And for some reason that really offended my sensibilities. I felt like, okay, the world is not good right now that she's doing that. And so rather than just take the pizza boxes out, I also put a lot of energy in her space about it and courted her, which just made her hate me even more. And of course, made her probably enjoy doing it even more. In her, I don't know, her, whatever. So, that can be an example of sometimes when you're being invasive and controlling in a way that's just going to bring more conflict. It's not going to change the person, and it's bad karma for you. So again, just big blanket out in front of you, put onto it any baggage that causes you to be controlling with other people. Right, and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then go ahead and melt it away. All right, good job. Woohoo. All right, so that brings us back to the biggest thing that we're doing today. Okay, so I already talked about this at length in the intro overview. So let's just jump into it. Put a big old blanket out in front of you. Pile onto it any baggage that causes you to freeze up subconsciously when somebody is physically shutting down your body, making your body more tired, more weak, more prone to illness, which is typically third chakra, third layer, like big dumping, cording, some damage possibly as well. So, but on a spirit level, you see it. Everybody sees everything on a spirit level, but it's possible that you have baggage like fear or too much anger or something, so you're kind of paralyzed and you don't quickly unblock and repair subconsciously. You just have your body get shut down and then feel exhausted about it. So big blanket out in front of you, gold blanket, put onto it any baggage that causes that victim freeze, where you subconsciously just see it but don't take immediate measures to unblock and protect yourself and repair. All your victim freeze baggage, say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Couple deep breaths. And so whatever's left is healthy and gentle to clear right now. And so just go ahead and melt it all away. You can bring up red earth energy, gold light, melt the cords going into it from you and other people. And melt the baggage. Again, it could be fear, it could be self-esteem baggage, it could be lots of pent-up rage, causes you ironically to freeze up. You don't have to know what it is. All right, we'll do that again, but let's nourish with some flowers as well. So make energy healing flowers for yourself. So So make energy healing flowers for yourself out of universal healing energy, whatever vibration you need, so that you're nourishing yourself, so that you're more likely to be able to act subconsciously and fix your space when it's starting to happen. You can act quickly. So whatever healing energy you need for that, so that you can not freeze up, so you can act if you're being harmed on any level. Angels, can you check my flowers? And give it to yourself. So make energy healing flowers for yourself. Angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. It's funny because there's this irony where you could be manifesting conflicts that don't need to happen just because you have, anger against authority. But at the same time, you could have victim freeze baggage that is causing you to let, your dad or your ex-husband or your mom shut your body down. And so you go into exhaustion. So it's like this huge irony, but in psychology, they talk about, I'm not a psychologist. I have like this much psychology training, this much, just a teeny bit. But, sometimes it's like, it's safer. It feels less scary to your brain to be like, oh, the real villain is this coworker or this neighbor or this organization, and it kind of fits with your whole pent up anger against authority versus like, no, actually the person that shuts me down every goddamn day is my dad or my mom and my sisters or, my ex-husband or something, and that may be less appealing to your mind. And so your mind just like flits over that reality, like, mama, that's not happening. Because it could be that you judge yourself. Like, okay, if my mom can still shut down my physical body, that means I'm a loser and a failure. And so obviously you don't want to be a loser and a failure. So you don't want to know that. So you think it's, your neighbor and something that they're doing externally that is the reason why your whole life is ruined right now. Not ruined, but you know what I mean? Why you feel like your life is ruined. So it could be that you're ignoring like the root issue with a distraction, with manifesting, distracting conflicts with others, but you're ignoring the fact that, someone that, maybe you should be able to trust is shutting down your body. And, it doesn't mean they're Satan. It just means that, if you clear this victim freeze baggage, then you wouldn't let it happen. And it doesn't mean you have to fight with them on any level. It's just then you'd be better at, your boundaries and defending your physical body. So anyway, more of that. So more nourishing. So however you need to nourish so that you are more ready and able to not distract yourself with the unnecessary conflicts and to actually see the real thing that's happening that's shutting down your body. So knowledge flowers, awareness flowers, self-supporting flowers. Angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. A couple deep breaths. You could be like trashing yourself because you think, oh, my life is such a mess. I'm such a failure. It's so much chaos. But that could be just really you creating a lot of change in your life. And so things look messy. And it could be just that, XYZ relative or ex or coworker is in your space, shutting you down, making you feel exhausted. And also in your head, giving you this self-judgment about that, your life is totally wrong right now when it's not wrong. So anyway, okay, so blanket exercise again, still any baggage that's causing you to freeze up and distract yourself with surface external conflicts and not see what's going on with your body, not deal with what's going on with your body. If you have a physical sort of if you're being shut down by somebody else. So angels, is it okay to clear all this? Is it healthy and gentle to clear all this? Your victim freeze baggage. And then whatever's left over is healthy and gentle to clear. So go ahead and melt it away. Gold light. Blow it up to, if you're feeling yourself. And like I said, sometimes the victim freeze baggage is repressed anger or repressed fear. So it just freaks you out too much that someone would do that, reminds you of terrible past lives that you had, or it could anger you too much. And then you just don't want to know about it because it makes you angry. Like somebody, in their survey, I'm not sure I fully understood them, but it seemed like they don't vote and they don't participate in politics on any level because they don't like anger and they don't want to feel anger. And they are aware that people can get angry about politics. And so their decision is to just like walk away and not have a vote in their own government. Because they don't like even voting for them, like they're avoiding. I think for them, they think that they're having a more peaceful life that way. But it just looks like they're avoiding a lot of their own repressed anger. They're pretending that they don't have repressed anger. They're just like, okay, those people have anger issues. I don't have anger issues. So I'm just not going to play with them. I'm not voting. And, obviously I don't advocate not voting. I advocate voting. But, spiritually in this context, the point is the avoiding, that you'd think if you have a problem with repressed anger, it just makes you, act brashly, right? But actually repressed anger could also make you not act, make you like just kind of shut down because you don't want to be angry. You don't want to feel that anger. So just whatever baggage, just one more blanket, any baggage that's causing you to have like a victim shutdown thing where you're like, Ma, this isn't happening. My mom isn't shutting down my third chakra every damn day. Just whatever victim freeze baggage you have, just blow it up or melt it away with gold light. And if any of it's left over, it's not clearing, just hand it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with all that? All right, good job. Woohoo, double confetti for that one. Okay, so as I said in the intro, change can be messy, even if it's super positive change. I mean, it's like really like a spiritual triumph for you to create the level of change that you did. It can look pretty messy, especially maybe if you're in a judgy kind of mood, you feel like, oh my gosh, my whole life is, in shambles, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes, there can be a part of you that is really motivated to not know, to not be aware, to not have healthy realizations, to not feel, like the example of somebody who doesn't want to vote because they're really, they're not wanting to feel their own anger. And so they're pretending like, okay, well, that's for those people. It's just not for me, and so it's not unhealthy to want to feel peaceful, right? That's makes perfect sense. And it's good for your stress, right? To have peace, right? But there's sort of an avoidant piece, which is very unstable, where you're just avoiding a lot of stuff internally and repressing it and shoving it down. And that's what gives you the terrible dreams and the flaky immune system and all sorts of stuff. I mean, there are other reasons you might have a bad immune system, but you know what I mean? Like, so let's clear anything unhealthy, the unhealthy level of where you're like, I don't want to know. I don't want to feel. I don't want, I just want to be normal, So let's do it. All right. So, you could do a gold blanket, but I've done so much of that. It's kind of boring me at the moment. So let's see. I was looking at this one person and she has a bunch of this, desire to not feel the messiness of positive change. And so for her baggage, that is her unhealthy desire to not know and not feel, looks like perfect china, like plates and silverware, and so that's her. It's a visual representation of her baggage that has to do with the desire to be perfect and be normal and be, perfectly well off and perfectly, respectable and, stable and, someone that everyone admires and, your brother is jealous of and your mother, wishes that she would have been nicer to you because you're so successful now. So however you want to represent your unhealthy desire to not know and not feel. Maybe it's a bunch of pillows. Maybe it's a bunch of, perfect silverware and plates. Maybe it's just a pile of baggage, whatever works for you. But anyway, just put out in front of you all your baggage that is fueling your unhealthy desire to repress and to be normal, normal, So just anything that fuels an unhealthy level of repression, an unhealthy desire to just not feel things that are happening within you, right? And you could blow it all up or melt it away with gold light or gold fire, gold water. Oh my God. My visual representation of a desire to not know and not feel well, an example of one could be like perfectly white cabinets and perfectly white flooring, because my birth mother, when I was growing up, she spent a lot of energy trying to keep the cabinets in the kitchen like perfectly white, like no smudges, but she had 4 kids, like, and so there's a lot of energy spent, cleaning smudges off cabinets and being really pissed that there were smudges on cabinets, versus like processing some of her anger and some of her guilt and some of her exhaustion, and just dealing with more of our root issue, so that could symbolize for me, an unhealthy level of repression and distracting yourself in trivia. But you can pick other representations that make sense to you. Anyway, okay, so more piles out in front of you, more baggage, anything that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, that fuels some part of you that wants to repress and not feel and not know. Like, I don't want to know. So just put all that out in front of you and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then you can blow it all up. Or you could break it, or just make sure it's all destroyed. Any that's left over, you can give to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? All right, good job. Okay. So we're going to clear shutdown energy. We already cleared the victim freeze baggage, which is kind of the root of the issue, is that you, on a subconscious spirit level, you do see whoever's doing it shut down your body, if it's a father or mother or sibling or partner or ex or former friend or something. But then you don't take action subconsciously and you don't become conscious of it. It's just like freeze up. So, but now we'll actually work some of the removal of what actually did shut down your body, which would be third chakra stuff, extra energy blocks jamming up your third chakra, either in front or in back, or third layer stuff, giant sheets of hard energy, or it could be first layer. It's generally layers or chakras 4 through 1. But third, let's say, in parentheses, we'll put 4 to 1. So it could be like, you know, someone could put like a big hard piece right in your first layer that covers 4, 3, 2, 1 right in the front there. And so it really makes it hard for those chakras to draw in new energy. And so they just feel so burdened that you're just like, I need to rest. And so we'll unblock. It could be more distinct and it's just third chakra, plugging up your third chakra and your third layer. So we'll see. So we're going to clear shutdown energy to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do at one time. Typically, the shutdown energy I'm talking about in this healing is physical body shutdown. I mean, someone could shut down your astral body too, but that's a little bit more global than we're talking about right now. I'm talking about someone who's kind of crafty and just goes in and shuts down your physical body. So then you want to sleep forever, or you just want to, you know, not move and watch Netflix all day or something, you know, because you're like, well, my body needs rest. And yeah, it kind of does, because there's all this blockage there. So anyway, okay. So you can imagine your body lying down if you want, or you can imagine your body as it is right now, you know, seated. Sorry, she doesn't move that way. Doesn't matter, but just imagine chakras 4, 3, 2, 1. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. And for me, third chakra is, I like mine like nestled right underneath where the ribs come apart right there. So right at your solar plexus. But some people have their third chakra a little bit lower, sort of between the solar plexus and the navel, the belly button, somewhere in there. It's up to you. I mean, I think whatever, it doesn't matter so much. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and round opening in the front and round opening in the back, right? And the shape is like a cylinder, open cylinder. So you want to unblock, just remove all the shutdown energy. And those aura layers, especially right in front, typically that's the favorite way to do it. So just angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Here you go. It's kind of like you know those things they put on you at the dentist when you're getting x-ray, you know, they're x-raying your teeth. They might put like a big lead blanket over the front of you, you know, to protect your body from radiation. It's a little bit of a feeling like that. It's just this really heavy thing that just weighs down the front of your chakras. So just, if you have any shutdown energy at this time and in your aura layers in front, just lift it out. Angels, here you go. Lift it out. Angels, here. So, and you can just alternate back and forth between working the layers 4, 3, 2, 1 and physical body chakras 4, 3, 2, 1. So physical body aura layers 4, 3, 2, 1 and physical body chakras 4, 3, 2, 1. Some people, shut down people, also do the back of aura layers 4, 3, 2, 1. Depends on like how exhausted you end up feeling. If you end up, sleeping like way more hours than you would normally need to, then maybe your shutdown energy is in front and in back of layers 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, I said this in the intro too, it doesn't mean that physical treatment couldn't help, like better nutrition, better exercise, a proper amount of sleep, proper hydration, drinking enough healthy fluids, maybe acupuncture or massage, whatever. But this is for the cases where it's actually initiated. The problem is started and caused by an actual person subconsciously placing enough blocks in layers 4, 3, 2, 1 and chakras 4, 3, 2, 1 that you're exhausted. And the problem is not the person. The problem is really just, that you're not unblocking automatically. And so the energy just stays there and stays there. And your body really, really gets sort of gets kind of flattened by it. Because you can't remove the world of shutdown people. It's just not possible. And besides, like I said, it's not like they're Hitler, it's just some subconscious thing they have where, they're attached to you being the weak one, or you being the incompetent one, or you being the one who's flaky. So again, just unblock layers 4, 3, 2, 1 and chakras 4, 3, 2, 1 of your physical body energy system. Lift out the devices. Angels, here you go. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. Any shutdown energy from other people just causes your body to really run down. And this is a temporary fix. The real fix is what we already did, which was clearing victim freeze baggage, which is because, the shutdown people could just do it again, in a day, and then you feel the same way, right? But if you clear the victim freeze baggage, then you're more likely to be like, wait, something just happened. Poof, unblock, unblock, unblock. So it doesn't get to that point where the energy's been there and your chakras have been struggling for so long that your body really, really, truly is exhausted. All right, so you can use sticky gold wax on chakras 4, 3, 2, 1, and just lift out the junk, shut down junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax on chakras 4, 3, 2, 1 of your physical body, and Kundalini chakra while we're there, just below the first chakra, and just remove the shutdown baggage. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, physical body 4, 3, 2, 1, and K, Kundalini chakra. Remove the shutdown baggage. Angels, here you go. And aura layers all around, physical body, aura layers 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, aura layers count out from your skin 1, 2, 3, 4. Shut down baggage in those layers. Wow. Keep breathing. And then you can just feel all your chakras and your creative rings just comb downward through all your major chakras along your spine. Creative rings 7 down through 1. Your auras, groundings. You can imagine yourself and all your shutdown people, and don't do anything to them, but just imagine any cords going in between you and them, and just melt your end of all those cords. There are no cords between you and the shutdown people. Couple deep breaths, breathe into your toes. All right, good job. Woo-hoo-hoo. So the idea is not to make you perfect now. It's just incremental baby steps forward, awareness, self-forgiveness, all that good stuff. Okay, so we're going to clear money fears. Not that you fear money itself, but you fear not having money potentially. And that could be because of past lives. You know, when you think about it, you could be like, well, I don't know what my problem is. It's not like I'm going to go hungry in this lifetime. But you could have had many lifetimes where hunger was a real stressor for you. Or many lifetimes where, you know, you had a loved one who suffered because you couldn't get them treatment, you know, medical treatment. Of course, in the US, since we don't have healthcare, national healthcare, it's a reality in this lifetime that you might not be able to afford the healthcare that you need. So you could have fear around that. You could have fear around debt. You could have shame around debt, fear of taxes, all sorts of stuff. You could have fear around losing your job, all sorts of stuff. So fear always gets in the way, you know? And like I said in the intro, I had a little aside where I talked about money stuff before the healing. You know, money comes and goes and can come again and can go again. And, you know, your spirit learns about abundance, about courage, about, you know, non-resistance. So there can be financial situations that are there for your learning. And so the sooner that you learn, the sooner you can change that situation. So it's important to kind of pull yourself out of the fear, pull yourself out of the judgment, the panic, because that's not a place where you're going to learn and have your realizations and evolve as a spirit, right? So, so let's do it. Let's clear all that. All right. So that was explaining. So now let's do. Now you can imagine your fear of money however you want, fear of debt, fear of taxes, fear of unemployment, all that. You know, you can imagine it as big white bricks, or just make a pile of all the money baggage and debt baggage and whatever. It could be baggage too that causes you to have money issues. But I think the fear of the money issues is generally a bigger problem. But, you know, you could have like self-punishment and stuff around money issues where you're giving yourself money issues because maybe in the past you stole from, holy people or something, and you feel shame around that. And so you feel like you don't deserve money. So you could add in just whatever money baggage you have. But I would like to focus on the fear of it predominantly for my work I'm doing. So just big gold blanket out in front of you, put onto it any baggage that you have causing you to fear debt, fear unemployment, fear fluctuations in your income, fluctuations in the economy, fear any changes with money, fear, debt, fear taxes, any baggage that causes you to kind of dramatize money stuff, money issues, money problems, money challenges. Any judgment, any shame, any anxiety, any, whatever, betrayal energy around money, any baggage you have around money. And say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? It's possible that, you can't fix it all in a day. And your angels will remove whatever's too much for right now. And then you can blow up whatever's left or melt it away with gold light, gold fire, gold water. Melt cords going into it from other people or from yourself. All right. So let's do some flowers too. Make energy healing flowers that would help you to have courage and confidence and intuition and wisdom around money and abundance and finances. Angels, can you check my flowers? Give them to yourself. We'll do that again. So energy healing flowers for you to nourish yourself so that you can access your higher self wisdom around money and abundance. So you can be wise and around finances and taxes and such. Angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. So again, big gold blanket out in front of you. Any past life baggage or this life baggage around money, around debt, past life money fears, past life debt fears, energy about money in this life. Other people's energy in your space around money and abundance and jobs and income. Maybe you have some jealousy from other people or some judgment from other people around income and money decisions and debt. I say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? And then go ahead and melt or blow up whatever's left. Okay. I was looking at a sample person and she's been unemployed for a while and she has or partially unemployed on and off. And one of the factors is that she does have a self punishment sometimes you can have abundance issues because, it's meant to be, like you're meant to experience scarcity because of some reason. Either you're paying back karma because you stole from people in some lifetime, or it just gives you greater empathy and wisdom about money by not having money and having to figure all that out. But sometimes it's not angels or karma doing it, it's you doing it to yourself. And I was looking at one person, and she is doing it to herself because she did steal from a lot of people in several lifetimes who trusted her, who, it's like, wasn't like a Robin Hood thing where she stole from like really bad people that were harming a lot of people. She stole from, kind and innocent people. A lot. So that's the problem sometimes if you're in a past life and you're good at doing bad, you're very expert at being a bad person, doing bad deeds, bad karma deeds, then, there's more to pay off later. But anyway, she has already paid back the karma, but she still has her own like shame and her own self-punishment about it that she hasn't gotten rid of yet. So, you can imagine it as, big lumps of energy if you want, your self-punishment baggage, or you can imagine it as like, like for her, it looks like handcuffs that she put on herself, that limit her from earning money because she wants to be this self-punishing part of her feels that she should still be as poor as the people that she robbed from in those lifetimes. So, the thing is, go ahead and check. Do you have any self-punishment around money that you could get rid of now? Like it's not karmically supposed to be there anymore. Like it's not like the angels saying, oh yeah, you have to experience scarcity because you were a giant big thief. It's not that maybe you were a giant big thief, but you already paid it off by good deeds. So you could get over it now. So do you have any self-punishment that you can get over now? That limits your abundance and your financial stability. And you can imagine like a mini version of you and see if, you have handcuffs on or shackles on or some kind of a thing on your head or your shoulders that impairs your ability to earn money or keep money or have financial stability. And again, it's self-punishment that you could totally get rid of now. There's no positive purpose for it. So just lift it off, give it to the angels. Lift it off, give it to the angels, lift it off, give it to the angels. So again, we're looking for unnecessary, unhealthy self-punishment around money and abundance. Yeah, just however it looks, just lift it off. Angels, here you go. Lift it off. Angels, here you go. Lift it off. Angels, here. So especially I'm seeing a lot with people, stuff around their arms and shoulders and hands. So just give yourself a shoulder, arm, hand healing and just wash off any self-punishment around money. That is, pointless. Not angel approved. All right, good job. Woohoo! We'll do some double confetti on that one. You're amazing. Woohoo! All right. Okay, so now we'll do wrap up, including calling back your innocence, playfulness, and wonder so that you can enjoy your simple pleasures. Now that we've done all the heavy lifting, we do the light and fluffy, gentle part. So just comb through everything, all your 17 auras. Unblock above the top of your aura. You want to unblock enough so that your positive change energy can come in. Comb through your major chakras along your spine. Little 2 seconds on repairing your GV meridian in the top of your head. Starts in the crotch, goes up the midline of your back, goes all the way here, ends roughly in the roof of your mouth. That's the GV meridian, governing vessel meridian, helps you with all your yang meridians. And just a little extra repair on this part that goes through the top of a little extra on GV20 governing vessel 20. That's the acupuncture point in the very top there. It's roughly in the same place as the 7th chakra, although 7th chakra is oriented this way and much bigger, and GV20 is oriented this way because the meridian's going forward like that. A little extra GV20 repair. Take out any hard objects stuck in there. Of any invasive beings in the way. Angels, here you go. Teeny bit on CV meridian, which starts in the crotch, goes up the midline of the front, roughly ends in the tip of the tongue. CV meridian, conception vessel meridian helps to regulate all your yin meridians. So just some repair and unblocking. All right, so calling back your innocence, playfulness, and wonder. You can use a gold 3D object, whatever shape you like, sphere, square, pyramid, whatever, and use it like a magnet. Have it call back all your innocence energy from wherever it is, all your wonder, all your playfulness. And you can have the object get bigger and bigger as you're calling back your stuff. And then say, angels, can you clean all this off? Then give it back to yourself. So one more time, call back your innocence, wonder, and playfulness from wherever it went to. Maybe somebody took it. Maybe you gave it away. You left it behind. Call it all back. Angels, can you clean all this off? Then give it to yourself. Double check your grounding, especially in the back. Unblock it. Double check the flow in the bottom of your auras. Unblock that so you get good releasing. Redo your gold buffer zones. And as we wrap up, just, say hi to your angels. Angels, can you please give me healing? Help me to enjoy my simple pleasures. Angels, can you help me clear my victim freeze baggage so that I can protect my physical body better and the energy, how much vitality and energy my physical body has? All right. Good job. You're amazing. Woohoo. Go, go, go. That was the healing. Double confetti to celebrate. All right. Okay, so I'm going to check chat comments. All righty, let's see. Someone says, am I doing a messy potential job loss life upgrade like you were describing? Or is that buried fear? Angels say anything about my love life? So basically read my whole life right now after you've just healed 135 people, please. Thank you. Feel like they want me to focus on work, not dating right now. Yeah, I think part of that, I mean, you're pretty advanced, so I think you can read a lot of that yourself. I mean, I think sometimes people can use their propensity to manifest unnecessary conflict with authority as a way to create change. You know, it's just that you still have an unnecessary pattern of creating conflict with authority, but your angels know that and they want you to make changes in your workspace anyway. So they're just kind of like, two birds with one stone, you know. They know that they can't pull you out of your propensity to have conflict with authority. So it can be both. So you can look at like, okay, so to what extent am I, you know, you can keep clearing your repressed anger with authority and your desire to like sort of make value judgments about whether authority figures are ethical or not, and your pattern of like puppeting them, like controlling them because you feel like they're not acting the way they should. You know, that can be true, but it can also be true that a different work environment or a different blend of work environment might be ideal, but the timing of it maybe doesn't have to be as dramatic and sudden. It's just that, you know, you have that propensity to manifest conflict and drama that might be pushing up the ideal timeline a lot in a way that's, you know, overly sudden. So both can be true. Hope that helps. It might not, but I tried. Okay, I think you're right about how subconsciously we can see when someone tries to shut us down. Yes, I sensed the energy that was shoved into my space, cleared it a bit, and then my brain stopped working. Oh, it's cute. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, when it was happening to me, I didn't know. I just thought, you know, I needed a lot of rest. And there were reasons in my life. I mean, you know, I heal 135 people. So it's like, well, you know, of course I need rest, right? But turns out that's true. So half the time I just need rest because I heal 135 people. But half the time I need rest because my birth mother takes great pleasure in shutting down my physical body because she's attached to me being the crazy one in the family who is a failure because that makes her right and me wrong, you know, subconsciously. So, you know, It's interesting. But yeah, on a spirit level, you do see what's going on. It's just you might not be conscious of it. Like when my birth mother was shutting me down, I was not conscious that that happened. I mean, I've seen other ways that they've tried to shut me down and I've stopped that from happening. But the physical, like making me seem like I need to process more and my body just needs rest, that was crafty. I didn't see that. But she takes great pleasure in that. And my genetic sisters would do it if she didn't. But my birth mother's like, no, I got this, girls. Let me shut her. Watch me do this, So that's why it's important to clear the victim freeze baggage and just have your awareness and not get caught up in, being mad at anybody about it. Or, I mean, regular anger's fine, but, like not in a debilitating level of anger. Because if it's not that person, it could easily be somebody else, So the idea is just to not let it freak you out, so that you're freezing and sort of numbing out to the knowledge so that you don't act on any level. Anyway, so I'm glad it made sense. And, of course, it's baby steps, You don't have to be Buddha by tomorrow. Hi from Chicago. Hello to you. Thanks for the little flower emoji. Very cute. Someone says, what about I did read that one during this session, so I hope that helped. Someone says, I like the neck work and the flow zone work. Yeah, the good karma windows, the 5th essential section, good karma windows, flow zone, and base of skull points. When my energy isn't flowing, my head can't turn left until a bone clicks off of another bone and I can turn my head. Well, isn't that interesting? Yeah. So have you found that repairing certain good karma windows helps with that? I would think it would. Okay. Hi from Portland. Sunny and sunglasses weather. Well, that's nice, isn't it? It's about time. The Pacific Northwest has a lot of famously cloudy weather, but then in the summer it's all sun usually, which is really nice. Someone says, thank you for the healing. I had a throbbing headache since last night and it is going away. It was making me so angry. During the healing, I feel like I pulled a muscle on my lower left side. Get overwhelmed and wanted to cry. The feeling did go away. I really liked clearing unhealthy desire and shut down energy. Witchcraft was coming to mind though. Well, that's like 50 things at once. So the headache, yeah, was some damage. So the healing took care of the aura damage and the damage to your gold mesh spheres. So then once your gold mesh spheres were repaired and they started sending a lot of gold light inward, then that started to repair all the head meridians, which we didn't do directly. The repairing of the aura protects them, and then the repairing of the gold mesh spheres starts gold light to repair them. Yeah, the headache making you angry. I mean, I'm wondering about your blood sugar levels too. Because, I mean, I would think a headache I guess it could make you cranky if you're in pain. But so angry, maybe I'm wondering about your blood sugar levels too. So were you having regular protein? Were you having a lot of sugar or alcohol or something that might have messed with your blood sugar levels? Anyway. Glad you feel better. Really liked clearing unhealthy desire and shut down energy. Witchcraft was coming to mind. Yeah, I don't know what the tie-in is for witchcraft, but I mean, we did clear a lot about controlling behaviors, so that's sort of the darker aspect of witchcraft with all the controlling of others. We did work on clearing that. There's that. Thank you for the healing. Loved the discussion about the friendship stuff in the beginning. Yes, that's a big one for me. Feeling a little sleepy but mellow. How'd my husband do with the money part? Yeah, the friendship thing is really common. And yeah. I think it's good, to challenge yourself. Like, how are you talking to yourself? Are you thinking about gratitude? Are you thinking about positive goals? Are you taking baby steps towards your positive goals? Are you able to validate your own progress? Because sometimes that's reflected in how you communicate with your friends. And sometimes you just call your friends to vent and, talk about your stresses, which generally is really unclean and just kind of holds you in place because it's really hard for the person to be clean about that conversation because you're like pain, 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 pain. And what are they supposed to do? It's triggering to them. What are they going to do? A lot of times they'll end up courting the shit out of you to get you to stop showing so much pain because it's triggering for them. They have pain too. Whereas if you can talk about gratitude, talk about something positive that you're working on, then that's not going to dredge up negative stuff for them. So it's going to be an easier call for them. And it's going to be more likely to be validating for you in a way that's nourishing, in a way that, you actually really feel better. So, yeah, it's something that a lot of people mention in their surveys. So, but I don't often fit it into the healing. So I probably should do it more often. So I'm glad it helped. Feeling a little sleepy. Yeah, just a little more of that shutdown energy in the front of your third. It's like a cork in your third. Front. Physical third. How'd my husband do with the money part? He did okay. It's just he has a lot more money baggage than you do. I think you've had a couple lives where you've cleared more of your money stuff recently, and he has not. I think he had a couple recent lives where he was around a lot of people with money baggage as well. So there was no real positive example of like, gee, we don't need to freak out about this and act like we're about to die because, this and this happened or, so it's somewhat new for him. Not new ever, but, based on now and recent past lives for him to start clearing some of this. But he is doing it. And you could maybe just, he has signed up for some angel classes about it. But you can, I guess he's in the classes, so you don't have to really worry about it. But just, I guess, keep in mind that he's not as far along as you about money stuff spiritually, like as far as. Plus, I mean, your money stuff gets more triggered when you're self-employed than when you work for an organization. So that might help you too. You can compare like, okay, well, how much money baggage would you have triggered if you were self-employed? And then compare it to his money baggage that's triggered when he's self-employed, since he is self-employed. And it's much more comparable than if you look at it that way. So I think that's part of it too. There's just different baggage that triggers when you're self-employed, which is funny because I've done both. In this life, I've worked for other people for a long time, and then I became self-employed. And it's funny, you kind of assume that, the grass is greener on the other side. Like, oh, and I don't have to, go into some office and report at, 9 a.m. and this and that, then it'd be so much better, But it's like there's a whole bunch of different baggage that triggers that didn't trigger in the other situation. So it's kind of funny. But he is clearing. I've been on both ends of the friendship issue before, and that's been a tricky one for me recently. Excited to work that more. Yes. Someone says, hi, Janet. Was that me who stole from innocent people? Yes, but a lot of people have done that. It's very common. I mean, you think about all the past lives you've had, everybody's done a lot of terrible things, basically. Um, if not, can you see why I struggle so much with allowing abundance? Yeah, part of it is definitely self punishment from tricking people and deceiving people and stealing from people and yeah, robbing people. And it was like, you're okay with that you robbed from people who were bad people, but it was robbing people who were good, like indiscriminately, just, like the sort of like the roadside bandit type, because then, oh, there was this family and they were expecting a baby and the mother miscarried because you robbed them and she freaked out so much and, and then they didn't have enough money to feed their other child, like that kind of thing that, gives you the self-punishment handcuffs, So yeah, it's definitely something you can work more for sure. But not just you. I don't think you were the sample person that I was looking at though. That I read during the set. There was somebody else. He says, "Thank you, Janet. It was fabulous. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You're welcome. My family members are dead asleep right now. Yes, because you're in a very different time zone. It's so unusually quiet. I feel better flow in front of my third chakra. Very nice. Clearing punishment around money made me cry heavily. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, so you can work that more. But maybe you could do it like a gold blanket far away from you, and maybe a big gold garden of gold flowers in between you and the blanket, and then put your money trauma baggage on that far away blanket, and maybe have like a gold privacy curtain in between, you and the baggage, so you don't have to feel it, because you can still clear it without, re-experiencing past life traumas and stuff. You can just clear them. Without the whole heavy crying thing. How does my mother shut me down too by making me tired? Don't know whose mother is worse, yours or mine. Well, it's not really about that, It's about what you do about it. It's not like an Olympics of, evil parents and siblings and stuff. So anyway, does my mother shut me down too by making me tired? Yes. And a sister as well, I think. I don't know how many sisters you have though. Mostly your mom. But it doesn't mean that other people might jump in if you cleared her out specifically. That's why it's good to just, any shutdown baggage from anybody and get rid of the victim freeze energy so that, no matter who or where it comes from, it's just like, whoosh, that's not happening. I'm protecting my body's vitality, protecting my body's alertness. But yeah, I don't really like thinking of my mother as worse. My birth mother. I don't even call her my mother. But yeah, it's just, she's an invasive person. She has invasive intentions. But it is what it is. So it says, thanks, Janet. Still anxious with dread. Is my first still shattered? No, it's not. It's not. I was looking. And your filaments are okay, so it's not that. Your good karma windows are okay. Your creative rings are okay. You do have a couple, you have some aura damage to a couple Wei Chi auras, like right in front here and right behind here. So I guess you have a couple invasive beings like plugging up the holes. So I drag those out, give them to the angels, and finish the repair there. But And unblock, 'cause you have like big wedge hard blocks that make your aura weaker for someone to punch all the way through. I think your mom is really nervous that you're going to like it out in California. So I think a lot of that, like, oh my God, I've just destroyed my whole life by coming out here, is literal messages from her placed in your energy field. Yeah. Yeah, she's like in your space screaming at you, like right in the front here. Your telepathic mesh right here is like completely ripped to shreds in the front of your 5th layer. So your 5th chakra is whole, but she's sitting there screaming at you. So like repair your telepathic mesh and then just pop her out. You know, sometimes people are like, oh, can I whack someone out of my space? But, you know, karmically, no. I mean, you could, but it would be bad karma for you. But you could pop people out. Popping people out is kind of fun. What you do, I mean, you have to do repairs. So like telepathic mesh repair. But then you think of like all the energy blocks that person is kind of standing on in your space, and just destroy all those energy blocks all at once, and the person just pops out, which is kind of fun, you know? And it's clean. You didn't do anything to them, you know? You just unblocked your space. What's wrong with that, right? But it's just kind of fun because it's really sudden. So you go, whoosh, and then they go, but anyway, so hope that helped. How did your husband do? I think your subtext is with the money part. He did fine. You're courting a lot of his baggage, a lot of his energy blocks. So you could just imagine your partner, and just how many energy blocks of his are you courting right now? Because I would say about 20. And so just melt the cords, because he's a lot less likely to clear his baggage if you're courting it. So if you think like, oh, my husband's so stuck, it would be so nice if he just made progress. Well, then regularly uncord his baggage. So you make sure you're not, because it's like you can't get rid of a rug if someone's standing on it. And that's kind of like the thing. You're standing on his baggage rugs. And so he can't clear them easily if you're doing that, right? So just imagine whatever he's stuck on, and how many cords are you cording his baggage, and just melt the cords. Because it'll help him clear faster. But he did fine. His angels give me a thumbs up. Someone says, sorry, I didn't understand the reason why shutdown people do what they do, particularly their attachment to how we are. Can you please explain it again, maybe with different examples? Sure. Like sometimes people they have a narrative in their space, and they need it to be true, you know, because they don't want to be the bad guy, or they want to be better than you, or they want to be, you know, they like, why does your birth mother shut you down? Well, I mean, she's an odd one. I mean, she just like, I think she just has so much hurt and pain that she just kind of strikes out. You know, it's like, you know, they say like, be careful when you're trying to save a drowning person, because they can actually drag you underwater with them. Like you have to save them from behind so that they don't drown you by accident. You know, she's a little bit like that. You know, it's like she has so much rage and so much baggage, and if it gets triggered, she'll just strike out, you know, at somebody. And so I think with her, she just she grounds herself to like normalcy, to patterns, to, she thinks that you should act towards her in a certain way. She thinks people should do certain things. She thinks people should act a certain way. And she has so much inner instability that she just ends up trying to control everything and everyone around her. And then she gets really triggered and all that rage comes out when, she's unable to control the people around her. Yeah. So there's that. Fun times. But it's not that she is really trying to control. It's that she's so unstable, and she's like terrified of how unstable she feels. And so rather than like working on the inner instability, she just sort of projects it out, and she thinks, well, I feel bad because you're not doing this for me, or you're acting this way. Externalizes it. Someone says, thank you for the healing and for the feedback about top of head stuff. I think perpetrator is, the person that did the damage is a female that's not close to me. Yeah, that sounds right. It started clearing and it's felt good, which isn't my normal. Well, it could be your new normal. Yeah, I did have one, there was one or two healings where when we did creative rings, we also did the top of the GV meridian and the GV20. And it's a nice thing to do. I would do that myself if I needed it. I would check all those things. Also creative rings, but, and if there's any Weichi auras that have any rips right there. And also the gold mesh spheres in that area, just to make sure they're doing their job. But I'm glad it feels better. Someone says, thank you so much, Janet. You are welcome. Someone says, I missed the healing and listening. Hope I did all right. We'll have to replay it again. Thank you. Yeah, there was some interesting stuff. I think you'll like it. Yeah, I think the angels kind of evenly like it, the whole thing for you. So there's not like one thing that like, oh, just redo that one part. It's like they're like, all of it. So I don't know if you are motivated enough to redo all of it, but I think any little bit you do would obviously be good, helpful. So I mean, how did you did clear a lot though, as when receiving the healing. But there were a couple parts on a spirit level where you're like, well, I don't have that problem, or I don't have that problem, but you were actually avoiding stuff. Subconsciously. So I would kind of watch that, watch when you're skimming through things that you're like, oh, that part's not for me. That part's not for me. Because those could be the parts that you extra need to do. Or you could just clear rad blocks, resistance, avoidance, and denial blocks. That could be maybe the quickest, like 2-minute thing to do. Clear rad blocks. Because like I said, the parts where you didn't make the most of the healing were parts where you were like, man, that other people have that problem. That's not really my problem. Anyway, hope that helps. Someone says, feeling better. Don't think mom is in my space today. Hope the flowers and telepathing is working. Yeah. Sometimes too, people just have to evolve, like not in a fast way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously my birth mother, she didn't pick me because she was going to be able to flatten me her whole life. She picked me because, I wasn't even going to maintain conscious relations with her for most of my life. She picked me to have somebody that is completely, against everything that she expects. Why? Well, probably because she needs to clear expectations. She needs to clear judgments around family and love and what people should do and shouldn't do. She needs to, be triggered and eventually clear stuff. Certainly not as much as might be ideal for me. But, so anyway, it could be that, you have a family member that, I mean, in your case, you have a very positive aspect to your relationship with your mother as well, but she could also be a shutdown person, for the next decade. But you don't have to allow her to be a shutdown person for the next decade. It would just be then she has shutdown intentions, but not reality. It's not able to happen. And then, she would just probably eventually clear, it would get triggered that she couldn't shut you down. And then she would kind of be forced to clear those triggers over time. So, it doesn't necessarily stop your shutdown people from being shutdown people, but it stops it from affecting your physical body, which is priceless. Priceless. Someone says, and yeah, I agree. Your mom isn't in your space mostly. I think she's courting some of your good karma windows in the back and the back of your creative rings. So she is in your space, but not in like a shutdown level. But yeah, she still is. She's courting the back of your good karma windows and the back of your creative rings and some of the energy blocks in the back of your fourth layer. And the back of your second layer. So she's like taking a back seat in your space, let's say. Now you could still clear more out. But I'm glad you're feeling better. That's great. Hi, Janet. I got extremely sleepy at the beginning of the healing, but fought it off, woke up, and made progress cleaning my clutter while listening to you. Very interesting. Yeah, your ex-husband is a shutdown person. Feeling wide awake and energetic now. Thanks. There you go. Woohoo. Yeah. So a lot of people have shutdown people, but your ex-husband was a standout. This is just an example that I could see easily that, he is he's invested in being the one that was the good one in the marriage. The one that, is successful. Because I think he has guilt around, having kids and having divorced while the kids are young. And like part of, I think his mom is in his space, like that's not cool, or somehow past life judgments or something about people that do that. And so he has to be like, yeah, but, my wife was just such a, she's just not together. She doesn't have her life together. We had to split. So it's like part of the narrative that he's attached to. Like there's all this like House of Cards judgment, like people that divorce, but people that have a terrible spouse are not, that divorce is not bad, and so because he has one judgment, he has to have the other judgment, which means invested in Hello, hello? Hello, hello? Wow, I turned my mic off. How did I do that? I must have just hit it with my hand. Wow. That's so lame. Ah! The mic is off all those. Yeah, so I was saying about your ex-husband that he I'll repeat it. It's funny. Well, I'm glad it wasn't happening for a long time. Yeah, okay, sorry about that. Yeah, they shouldn't put that button so easy there. Anyway, yeah. So your ex-husband, he has these judgments in his space from past lives that people who divorce are bad. But you and he got a divorce, right? So since he has that judgment and he hasn't cleared it deep down, he then has a sort of a justification that, okay, but people that divorce, if they're married to a person who's, like a failure, then it's okay to divorce. You're not a bad person if you divorce a failure. And so he's invested in your life looking like a failure because he's not getting rid of his judgment that people that divorce are bad and he doesn't want to be bad. So therefore you have to be a failure and therefore he's not bad by divorcing you. So it's silly, and irrational. And if he just cleared the judgment about people that divorce are bad, then he could just get off your back and not worry about it. But, whatever. It's a deeply rooted past life judgment. So anyway, he's a shutdown person of yours. The main shutdown person, I would say. So you can just later, when it's all timestamped and it's chapters, you can clear victim freeze baggage more. It's just baggage that causes you to not, subconsciously unblock when it happens, when the person tries to place energy in your 4-3-2-1 chakras and 4-3-2-1 layers to shut you down. Anyway, okay, so enough of that. Thanks though for the heads up. Yeah, he shut down the microphone. Thanks for all the sound feedback. That's hilarious. All right. I'll probably timestamp it so that you can when the sound was off. So you can fast forward to when the sound is on again. There'll be a chapter that says, sound on again. All right, cool. So I hope this healing made sense for you. If my anxiety person still feels anxiety, I would think it's less now, but there are a couple cords going into big energy blocks in the front of your first layer. So, we didn't do stebs. A lot of times we do stebs at the end, stubborn triggered energy blocks. So that could be a nice thing to do. Just pile up out in front of you all your stubborn triggered energy blocks that are, big energy blocks that are still triggered that haven't cleared, and just do red earth energy and gold light and melt all the cords and melt all the blocks. Your first chakra can fill out. So yeah, you could keep doing stebs and unblock in front of your first layer, the front of your first layer. Okay. So I don't know. I think, oh, he's in there. He's in that little, Izzy's in that little crate right there. I don't know that he can, thank you. Really good healing today, Janet. You nailed it. Well, thank you. Thumbs up for you too. Oh, and if you haven't, please consider giving the live stream a thumbs up. It helps. Okay. So the question is, am I going to be able to show Izzy in there? I don't know that I can get the camera over there, but I'm going to try. I don't know if it'll work. Let's see. So we'll see. Let's see. All right, here goes nothing. Still filming. I'm gonna... Okay. All right. So I hope you have a good day, evening, morning, whatever's next for you. You're awesome. We'll end with some double confetti. Okay, bye.